And no, I would have had to be part of a collective.
Yeah.
So such a decision would have to be taken by a collective, and my collective to which I'm committed is the EFF. So that's who, nobody in the ANC would approach me individually, number one. And number two, they would have had to approach the collective to which we belong. And that would have to be discussed and interrogated, because seeing and believing, or also knowing that it will be the ANC, they may just be planning a big trap to destroy you.
Welcome to Inkari. It's time where we tackle South Africa's biggest political conversations. Today we are diving into the heated debate surrounding Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. From Twitter to media headlines, his name is on everyone's lips. But why is this issue so significant? And what does it mean for the future of the EFF? Let's break it down. Kimela recently sparked a discussion by saying the supervised and mischievous media attention on Dr. Ndlozi creates the impression that he is the greatest leader in the EFF, and that if he leaves, all will collapse. Her point, while acknowledging Ndlozi's brilliance, she emphasizes that the EFF is more than just one person. It's a collective of strong leaders, but not everyone agrees. Someone responded by highlighting a hard truth. Dr. Ndlozi's appeal is unique. His connection with young voters, students, and women is a cornerstone of the EFF support, especially in a key battleground like Gauteng. Can the party afford to lose such a vital figure? Dr. Ndlozi isn't just a politician. He is a symbol of inspiration for many. His charisma, intelligence, and activism resonate deeply, making him one of the most recognizable faces in the EFF. But here's the question. Does this individual brilliance overshadow the party's collective leadership? Critics argue that the EFF's strength lies in its collective. Leaders like Julius Malema and others bring diverse skills and strategies to the table. Yet, it's undeniable that Ndlozi's star power plays a significant role in mobilizing support. So what happens if this dynamic shifts?
Our politics never unfold at a slow pace, I can tell you that much. Now, as the EFF gears up for its People's Assembly next month, contestation in the party is in overdrive. Following the departure of senior members like Dalimpofu, Floyd Shivambu, it appears another founding senior member has a doubtful future in the party. Weekend reports suggest that Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi might be next to leave the party after it was alleged he's been disbarred from challenging for Shivambu's vacant seat. And speaking of deputies, the ANC's number 2 is also reportedly under strain as questions abound about a fake affidavit he submitted under oath. To help us make sense of these political storms and their broader implications, we're joined now by Associate Political Editor at EWN, Tsidi Madia, who really is as good as they come to break it down for us. Tsidi, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Shivambu gone, Mpofu gone, is Ndlozi next?
Good morning, Bongani. It seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, what you are watching and what you're seeing and what you're hearing, I think daggers is how some people have defined it. But I think there's a push and pull and almost a way to push him out of the party. That's kind of what you're seeing, where there's constant talk about Ndlozi on social media. The difficulty with EFF, and I've always said this, is that EFF members are really afraid to speak to the media. They're afraid of the consequences of being seen to speak to the media. But EFF members are really good at finding ways to communicate via social media. And so when you look at what's happening around Ndlozi, you can see that there are the telling signs. And of course, there have been the comments from the leader of the EFF himself about the one who sings beautifully, your favorite, and the question marks and the trust deficit that seemingly has developed between the organization and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. And I think that the closer they get to their third National People's Assembly, the harder it is for somebody like Mbuyiseni to remain in the room. Some will say to you that this is an attempt to frustrate him, to get him to leave, as opposed to just expelling him from the party, because then the question of reasons comes up. What would be the reasons on paper to try and expel somebody like Mbuyiseni? Or is it easier to frustrate him and get him to go?
Sidi,
That's kind of where I think they are at the moment.
one of the questions I'm asking this morning is the EFF a democratic party or a political cult? And I'll tell you why. Goldrich Gadi, for example, who's now looking like he's making a comeback, was once tossed aside. We've seen other leaders parachuted into high positions with no votes cast for them and just as quickly leave. How do you answer it?
I think you answered the question for yourself, haven't you? I think when it comes to internal democracy, there is no party in our country that I think practices as well as the ANC. I've seen people in the ANC take on the president of the ANC without worrying about consequences. You don't see that in a party like the EFF. Goldrich Gadi is interesting. He's not the only one who's said to make a comeback, by the way. Leanne Matthys was also once a top official in the EFF. There's a thing called a lineup, Bongani, that people will tell you has been released, where the line of march has been given to provincial leaders about what needs to happen. In 2019, I was largely criticized for writing a piece called Amapiano versus Matorekisi, the Battle of the Bands. It was ahead of the EFF's conference, and what I was explaining is that there were factions, but the faction that will dominate is one that will come from the EFF leader, what he wants, and this lineup will be exactly what's elected. And the conference played out exactly as I said it would. So we've seen the lineup, we've seen the slate that should return. It's got Goldrich Gadi, as you said, now set to become the deputy president. There is an argument about the reasons why he'd be ideal. I think the EFF hasn't done a good enough job over its years of existence in building up leaders, if you may. We don't know the politicians in the EFF. You know Julius Malema, you knew Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, you knew Chivambu, you knew Tali.
Yeah.
Two are gone. One might be on his way out. What do? They've got this challenge of putting up leaders that are known.
All right.
And so Goldrich feels like a safe choice, if you may. When people view somebody like Mbuyiseni as a threat to Malema's leadership. You've got somebody like Leanne Matthys, again. She's on the lineup. She had left before. One can make an argument, I think, with Leanne Matthys that she's been working quite hard in the communication space for the party to earn her space back. But the truth of the matter is, a lineup has been sent to provincial leaders. They've been told to tell their delegates who are coming to conference, this is how the party will move.
I've been where I am today. That which you see, I've seen it before. That those who were very close to me, I woke up one day, they were nowhere to find. That those who betrayed me today were the closest after my wife to my glass of water. I now ask myself, what if these people present? Because every time I stood up to go to a bathroom, I gave over my glass to them. That's how much close these people were to me. But let me tell you, I will never lose confidence on humanity. I'll never lose confidence on the leadership and the leadership of our movement. In revolution, you must all accept there will be days those you trust turn against you. It's not only in revolution, even in our personal lives. Those we
I was never made by boys. I made them. I made them. So there's no boy who can destroy me. I made them. Their mothers are living in proper houses today because of me. I made them. Why would you think you can outshine the master? Never. No boys can deal with me. Both in the ANC, in the Youth League, in the state. I defeated them when I was a child. I'm too old now, 43 with 3 kids and a wife. I defeated them when I was a child. They tried me.
Good morning, Clement. Hey, you're watching greatness, man. I'm so overwhelmed to hear the doctor himself. You know, talk of the doctor. Doctor is every youngster, I like his politics, the way he interacts, the way he sells his concept and his ideas. He's respectful. When there's time to be cheeky and banter, he throws it with respect. What a well of wisdom. Dr. Ndlozi, keep it up. I wish you could open a school of mentorship for young men and train them. You are just a blessing to us. Honestly speaking, you are a great leader. Keep it up.
Thank you, Tuso. In Joburg, do you ever feel pressure when there's so much expectation on you as a young, relatively young? You were born in 1985. You are young. right?
Yes,
I
I am
think
young.
Yeah, you are young. I mean, I remember 2017 when you completed your PhD. A lot of people were really moved and inspired by you. What did that moment mean for you? And when you hear people appreciate and be inspired by you, do you feel the pressure, or are you more just appreciative that you can be of such inspiration to people?
It is pressure. It's all of it. It's human. But you just have to remember that it's really... people respond like that because for a deeper reason they relate. The story of coming out of Everton, Orange Farm, and the Val it should touch everybody. But personally, I know that it's not as special. I don't feel special. When I was in school, there were much more intelligent young men and women. There were a lot of brilliant young black women and black men. But the system only has 10 spaces. So when you make it, you don't think, no, it's because I worked harder or I am more brilliant. You have to remember that it means I've got this responsibility to which I must show fidelity to make the fight for more spaces, so that the intellectual heritage does not go to waste. That's my interpretation of it.
Do you ever feel survivor's guilt? Because I'm interested in what you say, because I come from, a village in Falbank where I had brilliant people I went to school with who were so smart, some more smarter than I was. And I didn't get the opportunity to go to school and get a job because I was so amazing. And they were incredibly amazing, but they just never got a chance. And sometimes I feel the guilt every time I go home, and some of them are addicted to nyaope because what can they do? Do you ever feel that, because you say you realize that sometimes there are so many brilliant people, but there are 10 spaces, and you feel the responsibility to open it up. Do you ever feel that way, like to go, it's so sad that out of so many people that are so good that could have made it, they couldn't, and not because they were bad, they were naughty, but because just the system, the space is not big enough?
No, not guilt. I couldn't function in a state of guilt. But that might very well be because I spend most of my life trying to contribute to the struggle. That's what the EFF is about. It's not... most of us don't have the ambitions. We never did. I speak for all the comrades at the founding table of the EFF. We really were not careerists. We're not trying to go to parliament. Our perception of parliament was that is that boring space. It's not actually nice as well to be going there and pushing around old people for them to do the things they know they should be doing. But if you don't participate in the struggle, the reality is, Clement, the traumatic thought that really haunts me is, what if this thing falls in the hands of fools? What if the country gets run by fools, and we, the ones who say are smart, the ones who say we have got a moral and ethical superiority, did not avail ourselves as an option? That's scarier to me. That is the most devastating thought. That what if re tlo tshwarwa ke dibari? Because the whole system can fall in the hands of fools as well, because it's about chance. But as for guilt, no, because every day of my life I work hard for access to universities, for access to quality education, healthcare. That is what we have given our lives for, as commissars and fighters in the economic emancipation movement.
Let's not forget that politics is about perception as much as policy. The perception that Ndlozi might leave, or that his influence is sidelined, could have far-reaching implications for the EFF's election prospects. Can the EFF sustain its momentum without him at the forefront? This is a conversation about leadership, influence, and the future of South African politics. What do you think? Is Dr. Ndlozi's popularity critical to the EFF's success? Or is the party strong enough to strive regardless of individual figures? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Inkari It's Time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights into South Africa's political landscape. Until next time, stay informed and stay united. Take care.